Hi everyone, here's Simone. This is tutorial number 8. Today we're going to speak about a bit of boring things but really useful. We will speak about sending value in Touch Designer and what I find useful in this theme. Now we have an example here that is showing a constant that is passing the value from a sender to a receiver here. And as you can see, the two constants are linked. There's no export tab because I'm using in the common page the export method path. The name is path parameter. Means that the name has to be compiled in a certain way to achieve the export. Here we have another example that is show you the functionality of this export route. So I move the receiver inside of a base and I say that the export route should be this base. So with the same name I'm going inside of a container by changing the export route. In each comp you go inside, you can have an iParse setup. This I set up it manually, and to set up it manually you have to go to your parent, common page, internal operator, and I select this guy, and then I give a shortcut. So now we can refer to the iPar, and by calling this guy that is called vals, we can refer to the first custom parameter like that. This is how you can achieve the same things with the menu. So you right click, create internal parameters, local, apply, everybody's happy, and you can then customize this component and call it in the same way. I did it manually in this. It's the same. Here we go with the Python storage. Python storage is a functionality of the container, and each container can like store an infinite amount of value. Okay, kind of. So to achieve this, I'm used to go there with Python, and this is the code. You can call the operator and then use the store function that requires a name and a value to store. And you can use the unstored function to delete it. In this case, this operator has a global name. This is why I'm calling it like this. You can delete, you can store. I'm referring to this to go there. Data to store, data to store. Nice. Another thing that is happening in this example is the automatic export driven by a table. This is the table that is exporting. You can achieve an export from a table by using this flag. This is how should be formatted the table to export chop from it directly. by exporting from a table, you can even export string or Python that in the process is being evaluated. Here I'm sending a string to this text and a Python expression to the rotation that is referring to a noise. Nice. You can access this flag via Python, so you can, it's a Boolean value, so you can call it true or false. If you wanna save super fast, I don't know, a setup and then recall it, just I don't know, you have to show something to someone. This is actually a shader from Amigo Killers. So now we move everything and we say no, tac, tac, tac. This is done by taking a look of the parameter dat, and if you just change the label name to parameter, the table is properly compiled and you can achieve an export. So now we want to save also this status. We take a null, unlock, lock, and then we have also this status available. So we can go here, and then we can also, actually we have to move something. So we go like that. Okay. And now then we want to go back here, over here, over here, over here. This is a component I made because I wanted to have fast access and create vector to work with some GLSL code. So now we delete everything and we push the creation, and we have one because at least you need to have one. Everything here is driven by a table that is actually defining the attribute of the parameter. As soon the table changes, the code cook. We will now make an error, so we ask for 12. Create. He's not happy. Let's make him happy. We add a row. And we compile it. So now we call like JJ. The name needs to start with a capital letter because it's a custom parameter. And then we just type here random number. Here we can define the clamp minimum, so we go -50, and we define that the clamping is true. Then we define a maximum clamp value, and we define the clamp also true, and we set the size to, let's say, 1. Okay. Then we want to create it, we want to reorder it, and just because I know we have to go to 0 first, go back to 12, create those, reorder it, and then we have it. I'm going to 98 to 105. If you're interested, just leave a comment, I can post it in the Olive. Maybe you can even make it better. This is the network. I believe you can make it better, but this is the network, and yeah, this is the table, and this is actually the code that is referring to the table. I'm using replicator because I didn't find a way to have the same functionality by using a for loop, and I'm not such a huge Python expert to use extension and all those stuff, but I think this time I will give it a try. Okay, so the replicator is replicating, and each replicator has inside the code that is generating the vector, and each time I change something here, the proper code referring to the proper parameter is changing the attribute. Okay, now we put everything together and we create a value matrix. The value matrix will take as input a lot of channel from this noise that then I'm shuffling, so from here a lot of channel, and this is the network. This is how it's working. So starting from the left, I can select a value from the incoming things, and then I can select from a drop down menu all the parameter of this guy and send what I want, where I want, just by clicking and select the name. Yeah, then we take a look more deep. This is another little trick. If you middle mouse, this is a OP viewer and is actually viewing the result of this. So if you middle mouse and scroll, then you can actually read the name, because this can be 27 but can be also 150. So I don't know, this is a cool way to, if you don't see the name and this become too tiny, you can middle mouse scroll up and down and you can read it. I think some notice that sometimes you have to move the export. We can make something that pulls it each time you move a table, then it's okay. Anyway, it's working pretty nice. The technique here is like copying a menu an amount of time and posting it as a custom parameter. This is done with a script, and this is the code. Is actually similar to the code that I'm using to customize the slider, the vector, and you can easily find it if you type custom parameter touch designer first link, and yeah, just to start, this is a good thing. Start, you append a float and you select attribute to the float you are appending. So yeah, this website. Here I'm actually changing a bit this code, and instead to append a float, I'm appending a menu. The menu needs to have a name and label, and then when you create it like this, take automatically some default parameter, and then I'm changing those, like the one that I need to change. The most important is the menu source. The menu source allow us to copy menu. So menu chop is actually a menu from a select, and here I have all the value. Then I have a parameter and I'm copying this menu here, and I have all the name. By combining these two menu and creating an array of menu, okay, I can read the array of menu by a table, and here I have all the name, here I have the path, and here I have the value. So by compiling this table, I'm actually making a table ready to be, this. Okay, so at the end I'm converting the table to chop, and with a null and with this magical export method I can export with a menu. Now we want to engage softness, so channel 66, and then we're gonna go to softness somehow. Softness. Okay, this one. Softness. Here we go. So yeah, it's a bit too high, but just to show you. Then we don't want to have value that goes to softness. So yeah, you can just take it out from here. If the menu is too big, then you need to actually zoom up and down in order to see it all. But it's 180 value. It's be enough for a MIDI controller or some audio input things, I guess. It's enough. Okay. So resuming, this is one of the powerful technique to use and move chop datas. iPar is good when you are developing or if you want to have some routing values. This is really a cool place where to put it. The Python storage, we speak it more when we go in deep with drag and drop things because you always can store what you need here and then read it when you drop or bring it with you as you wish. And that's already a lot of data that with the drag and drop we are bringing with us. This is the export table. If the table is right formatted, you can export it. You can fire the export flag by changing the boolean value, and you can have a kind of preset by locking a null from a parameter that and change the label name. In my case is label because I don't know, no, in any case they are label, so you have to change the label to parameter and then automatically the table is formatted to export. This is my idea of vector, and this is my idea of exporting from a value matrix. If you're interested in these works, just post it. I try to make it kind of pro and put it in the Olive. Put a like. Thanks for watching. Ciao.